To Basic Binges and Nom Talk Network, everyone. How are you guys? We have a bittersweet show for you today. Sweet because we are here once again, joined by some of the best panelists this past season to talk more She-Hulk. Bitter because it's the last one, guys. This is sad. Yes, it's all good things must come to an end, and season 1 of She-Hulk has officially ended, and we are here to break down the entire series and this final episode. And what an episode to break down. There's a lot here going on. And if you guys haven't noticed, obviously there's a lot going on here as well. If we take a look at some of our panelists, we decided in honor of the festivities today, in honor of this being our last She-Hulk show, we were all going to try and do some costumes and some tributes to both the show and Marvel. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed up as Werewolf by Night and not She-Hulk. I did not get the She-Hulk memo, even though I'm hosting the She-Hulk show, to cosplay in a She-Hulk outfit. So this is just what I wear every day. No, in all seriousness, I'm here to pay tribute to Werewolf by Night because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. And it is awesome. So if you haven't seen it, freaking see it. But we are here to talk about a new show, guys, a different show, another show, which is She-Hulk and the finale for She-Hulk. Joining us with us, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Smash, would you like to start?
Hi, I'm Smash Ketchum. This is my 3rd time doing this now, and I love it. I'm excited to talk to you guys about this insane final episode. As my shirt says, it was just a little strange, but I embrace the strange.
Love it. We also got Jen Athey with us. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Can you show us what you're rocking? Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm just Jen today, so I have my hero suit on.
Nice.
I didn't feel like being too tall for my camera to reach, so I just stuck with the human form here. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. That was a fantastic episode, and I'm ready to go.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Carolyn Poddig. How are you, Carolyn? Who are you dressed up as?
Well, the KEVN is here for the show. Just wearing the hat because, Kevin likes hats, and I like this hat too. I am Kevin Feige today, which is so weird, but I just figured I'd do a hilarious costume. And the show and this the meta, so good.
Mr. Feige, we have so many questions for you.
I can't answer any.
Can we just spend all this? Okay.
I can't answer. The algorithm will not let me.
Especially without signing the NDA.
Right.
Everyone signs the NDA before you ask any questions.
I knew I forgot to do something, and now our show is just going to suck. So thank you for that, Carolyn. No, I'm joking. I'm totally kidding. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. It's going to be amazing. Obviously, we're committing to it. The first things first, I think we got to establish some ground rules. One, those of you watching and enjoying the show, you guys might remember that we are now able to allow you guys to participate in a more interactive way. If you guys want to redeem your Nom Talk points to get us to do some crazy things, whether it's hydrating, whether it's talking in the third person, singing, or doing something crazy, not too crazy, but crazy enough for what PG internet allows for, then definitely we are your humble servants tonight, and you can make us do a number of crazy things like getting a drink or singing a song or stretching or something fun. So feel free to have a blast. Be merciful to us. We are going to need it, but that being said, if you're not going to do that, just sit back and enjoy our conversation, which I want to just start out by saying what a crazy episode. This literally went off the rails in the most Mel Brooks sort of way, which I loved. Every part of this kind of reminded me of that last final act of Blazing Saddles, if you guys have ever seen that tremendous movie. And She-Hulk goes from just kind of slightly scratching the fourth wall to just smashing it completely in this final episode. And I wanted to get everyone's overall thoughts. Carolyn, I'll start with you. Overall thoughts of the episode. What'd you think?
I initially I was a little bit skeptical because they did build up so many plots that were happening, but then the meta kicked in and it's like a switch flipped. There's something, I love meta, so when you're on the lot and you see the water tower and you see everybody just totally unfazed. I always talk about how I'm a Disney employee, and I was just like, that's it. That's what it is. It's not the studio, but it's that sense of distress and just, oh, it sold me. It sold me. And it's also comic accurate. Like, this is She-Hulk, without a doubt, is probably the most comic accurate adaptation that Kevin have ever seen. So
If Kevin says it, it has to be true, everyone. You know it. You know it. Don't dispute the algorithm. Jen, what did you think?
Oh, I had fears for a moment of a Bobby in the shower moment, which I'm dating myself with that reference, but Dallas in the 80s. I'm like, what's happening? Everything's happening at once. And yeah, same with Carolyn, Kevin over here. You know, it was joyful. I was just like, everything that kept happening. And I have just recently been at the studio for an event too. So I was like, wait, hey, I know where that is. So it was a lot of fun watching the writers' room. And I just watched it a couple times, and I'm spending the second viewing just staring at the walls, like trying to pick up little things out of the cards, which I couldn't do because I'm blind as a bat. But I tried. Yeah, a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a great deal.
I was searching for those secrets too, Jen. Don't worry. I'm not only as blind and didn't see anything as well, but I got the Dallas reference, so we're all on the same page. Trust me.
I want that cap poster.
For Gen Z out there who don't know, Dallas is a city in Texas, and there's a lot of really right-wing. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, no, TV show, soap opera. Patrick Duffy, who shot JR. Look it up. Trust me, it's worth the search. Smash, want to hear what you thought about this. Really eager and really looking forward to this this entire week. What'd you think?
I mean, right off the bat, we started with the 70s Hulk Lou Ferrigno style intro, and it was just like, okay, they don't care what the critics are going to say about this show. They just are going to do what they want to do. And yeah, so many things were all coming together at once. It was a lot to take in, and then just the absolute chaos that came from the fourth, fifth, all the ceiling breaks, all the breaks, and yeah, that just happens to be my sense of humor. So I was just along for the ride to begin.
That I couldn't say it better myself, honestly. I will say there was a moment that had me worried, but one of the things that assured me that they knew what they were doing the entire time was that they had issues with it too. And that's when they subvert everything. Because when Titania came in, when Todd injected himself, and when Bruce shows up out of nowhere, I was like, what the hell is happening, guys? This is really messy. And then they completely put the light on that and they go, we know it's messy. We are owning up to the fact that it's messy, and it's messy for a reason. It's because we are destroying this completely. We are subverting the idea of the third act. Everything has to happen, explosions, punching, stuff, and they give us a Mel Brooks. Again, I'm dating myself by referencing Blazing Saddles again. But they gave us a Mel Brooks type ending where they completely go into the studio line.
Yeah, it absolutely made me think of Spaceballs.
Yeah,
and Spaceballs, the merchandise, and
Spaceballs, the merchandise,
everything. Mel Brooks, just 100%.
It's based on an actual Byrne comic story where he messed up a panel and She-Hulk wasn't happy with it, so she went out to rewrite it, broke into Marvel and found out that Marvel had tied him up in a closet to stop him from writing the story. So she pulled him out of the closet and was trying to explain and was like, I'm going to fix all of this. There's a panel that's circulating around where she's like leaping out and Marvel's like, no, you can't. There's readers out there. You can't go out and fix things. And that's what made it so accurate, was that she really doesn't tolerate people breaking her stuff. So that she is a living Mel Brooks ending. You guys are both 100% on the money.
You know what always kind of fascinated me about Marvel? They're one of the few comic book companies to really get away with a lot of that meta-ness. I don't know if you guys watched the old Spider-Man cartoon from 1994 on Fox Kids. Did any of you guys watch that one? You did.
I
Okay.
think I know which episode you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you remember the final episode, the Spider Wars Part 2, where Peter Parker meets?
Stanley.
Yeah, he meets a variant of Spider-Man who can't reveal his identity to the rest of them, the other Peter Parker variants, and it's because he's the fictional Peter Parker, the one created by Stan Lee. And that Spider-Man takes him into the real world where Stan Lee is drawing a comic book of Spider-Man, and they're kind of talking through how Spider-Man sort of inspired the world. And between the She-Hulk comic that you pointed out, between like even Deadpool, and between that Spider-Man episode, Marvel really has this track record of just poking fun at themselves and being so self-referential, self-aware. You got to give them credit for that. It's really says a lot about how Marvel Studios kind of keeps up with its audience and with the times. So loving that. I'd love to talk Smash. You brought it up, and I loved it completely. I feel like we didn't. I don't want to just gloss over it. The 70s She-Hulk intro. I completely loved it. I adored it. What did everyone think of the way that they did that, and just Mark Ruffalo even owning into it and leaning into it and everything like that? Anyone's thoughts? Smash, I'll start with you, considering that you brought it up.
Sorry, you cut out, so I missed what we're leading into.
Oh yeah, no worries. The way that the episode starts, you brought up the 70s intro, which I loved. Thoughts?
Yeah, it was just a great throwback of how far the MCU has come, production obviously, but just even for the younger audience who may not have been aware that even existed at the time, now that's an Easter egg that they've learned is, oh, did you know that intro was based on the original Hulk show? And I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure that the actress who played, the raging Hulk version of Jen in that intro is her actual body double.
Yes.
From the set, and which I love. They got to incorporate her real form as well.
Yeah, that was brilliant. It's a brilliant nod to Ferrigno, and just kind of when you think about how we do things today for the Hulk versus how we did things back in the 80s, 70s, when the original Hulk show came out. I love that they just paid homage to both ways, and that's really cool. Carolyn, what did you think of it?
I loved everything from the turning, the way that they turned the deadpan looks that they gave each other. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. How they looked. The people forget that Marvel has been doing live action adaptations for a while, from Fantastic Four to Doctor Strange to Hulk, but Hulk was the one that's the most successful. So paying homage to like the original Hulk TV series was very nice. Loved it.
Jen, thoughts?
I was 5 years old again when that came on, watching that in my pajamas on some probably very hideous, like harvest gold or avocado green carpet. Yeah, that was a great flashback for me. And I agree with Smash. I love that they were able to incorporate her body double and really kind of give her a little bit more attention, because she's amazing. And we've seen the behind the scenes photos of, her and Tatiana.
Yeah.
But she puts in so much physical work. So to let her glam up a little bit and to really have fun with it like that, and let us see that and not just the end result of it. That was really cool for me. I loved the rotoscope green eyes, all of it. The music, I heard it and I got chills. I was like, oh, I was waiting for Bill Bixby to show up, and yeah, it was fantastic. So good.
And to have it serve as a bit of a previously on as well.
Yeah. And it set the tone for the absurdity of the episode.
How crazy it gets.
Yeah.
They do pull a little bit of a Dallas though, Jen, when she wakes up, right? I mean, because it is a dream, and we're like, it would have been cool if this was part that, But Jen does wake up. It's sad because she's in the damage control prison where the abomination was. And to be honest, she clearly doesn't deserve to be there. She didn't do anything except smash a couple of TVs. And, I mean, it's kind of bullcrap. But thank God Pug comes in and Nikki comes in, and best of all, Mallory, who's just amazing. And I will say this, the one thing that I think the show needed a little bit more of was Renee Elise Goldsberry. She didn't get a whole lot to do in this entire episode. And my hope is that if this comes back for season 2, we get a whole lot of Mallory book, because she is a treasure that you cannot waste. But at the very minimum, she comes in, she's going to defend Jen. She's brilliant at defending Jen. But all the sadness happens from there. Jen gets fired. No one's hiring her. It's kind of similar to what we saw in that second episode, but worse. I think people just see her as a monster. She has to move back with her parents, and she has to wear the inhibitor anklets. And that's her life is just falling apart from there. But she still fights on. What I love about that is she's still fighting on. She's still got her Charlie Day board up with all the intelligentsia tracings and everything. What did you guys think about this portion, just seeing Jen lose it all but still persist in terms of the fight? I'll start with Jen.
Pick one of us. Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, we'll talk at once.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. Now obviously I don't turn green and get 7 feet tall, but I have been at a point in my life where I lost a lot. I had to move back in with my parents after my divorce, and it's so humbling. So that part I was just like, and my mom and stepdad are great, but they're not Elaine and Mark Lynn Baker's character. So I mean, how I think she was well supported for sure. Her family is great and supportive, and obviously they love Nikki, giving her all the food and everything. So it was a nice little, it was hard, but it was also nice because, she had somewhere to go. She didn't have like what a lot of heroes do where they just hit rock bottom. They don't have anywhere to go. She still had people around her who loved her and propped her up and wanted to help her. But how do you help someone in this unique position? Which is what, which I'm sure will lead to is, I was just waiting. I was like, she's gonna call Emil. And because her family can only do so much. But I think it was just wonderful to see how supportive they were, but still the little mom jab of, oh, when is all your work gonna be out of my living room? Because we've all been there. So I liked it a lot. Yeah.
On the plus side, she gets to be workout buddies with mom every morning.
7 a.m. Who wouldn't love that? Sounds great.
Yeah, Smash, what about you? What'd you think? We'll come back to Smash. Carolyn, thoughts on rock bottom and fighting on?
It was really good to see. It was really good to see somebody who's, I think we've all had those moments where we've lost everything. I know that, speaking for myself, I really hit rock bottom, and for a little bit I didn't have a place to go. So I know what it's like to be the Bruce Banner side of it and to be the Jennifer Walters side of it. But the fact that Jen just kept going was so inspirational. I think that's the biggest thing I'm taking from She-Hulk, was this person who just pushes forward and keeps going and still maintains like their sense of self and like a desire for what they want. Doesn't just embrace, this is who I am now. She didn't have a daddy issues arc. She didn't have a Bruce Banner hiding in the basement arc. We love Bruce. We do. He's great. He's a great merch. No, but she was just like, this is my life. I'm gonna go get it back. I don't think there's another hero in the MCU right now who would feel comfortable enough to do that. And that's why I love her. She's great.
By the way, I was smirking at the daddy issues thing because we'll get to it later. But Smash, what about you? Thoughts on rock bottom for Jen and yet continuing the fight against intelligentsia?
I mean, it was surprising, but also fitting with the show, that they're just telling their story a little bit differently. Story structural wise, the rock bottom usually comes a little bit earlier, giving a bit more time to recover. So when her rock bottom started, at the beginning of the finale episode, it almost leaves you wondering, like, how are they going to wrap this up? How are they going to give her that happy ending? And yeah, like someone said that, she kind of takes it into her own hands by just saying, yeah, I'm going to go talk to Emil about this. I need to handle it. I need to deal with it myself because no one else will.
Yep.
And, a lot of times just, yeah, you just have to.
She just had to carry on. She didn't have Bruce.
I don't know. Sorry. It's just, I'm frozen again.
A little bit, but we can hear you. So that's good.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. I think you're good now, which is good. But yeah. So naturally rock bottom, but she's still got Nikki and Pug there. And I kind of love that. And, Nikki, it's brilliant bloody Nikki, who I love so much, decides, you know what, I'm going to pose. I'm going to Black Klansman this thing and pose as like, and a member of the intelligentsia team, but also have Pug be there as my rep in these in-person meetings, which is a freaking brilliant strategy. Nikki, for someone who's not a lawyer, still keeps her job, which is hilarious because she's like, oh, we're gonna miss you, but I'm gonna keep my job because but Nikki, who's not a lawyer, managed to save the day more than once in this entire series, with Mr. Immortal. We saw her brilliant skills being put to use there. And then, of course, here with the intelligentsia thing. And Pug, who is the nicest person in the world, is forced to be this toxic, craphead. I wanted to curse and say dick crap, but I'm going to have to say craphead instead. But yeah, and goes to the intelligentsia meeting. He and Nikki are kind of doing some undercover stuff and discovers, to the surprise of absolutely no one, let's be frank, guys, nobody was surprised by this twist. And I'm sure Marvel was aware that this was going to be the most obvious thing in the world and all of that. Todd is the Hulk King. He is the guy. What? Yeah, I know, right? Todd is the Hulk King. He set all this up. He's the one that just wanted Jen's blood to turn into a Hulk himself. Really a representation of evil Twitter, for lack of a better term. The people that go around and just blast, female, empowered programs or strong female characters, thinking that everyone who, any woman in power just, inherited it from somewhere because of nepotism or crap like that. And Todd is that embodiment, what did you guys think? I'm going to stop there and just ask, what did you guys think about all of this, about the twists and, Todd and what he really represents, intelligentsia for that matter, what he really represents. Jen, how about you?
So I could not wrap my mind around Pug, sweet, adorable Pug, going in there in that room of pit vipers and trying to fit in. And he knew, he's like, I can't do this. But I think Nikki knows what everyone's capable of. Nikki is she's the smartest person in the room, but she doesn't tell you that, but everybody knows it. And she knew that he would, with her in his ear, it very, what's that movie, Cyrano kind of thing going, where he's like, she has to tell him but we already knew there's bad service. I loved it. And when he tried to, it pisses me off. It just reminded me of like a little toddler getting mad in a way, but Todd was zero surprised, because at the end of the last episode, when the voiceover is happening on the video, the second voice that comes in and goes, and she's a slut. I'm like, that's Todd. That was Todd's voice 100%. And he was in the back of the room with the floppy hair. Like I talked about last week, he had the hat on, but you could see his floppy hair. I'm like, I do not like that guy. I thought that was because that's where it started to kind of go off the rails. I was like, why is he injecting? Okay. Oh, and there's the abomination. Okay. Oh, hey, Bruce, what's going on? So it was just all these things started to happen. But then I realized, because I was mad at Emil for a second. I'm like, wait, he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know what these guys were up to. It was just an event and he's a speaker.
He was just hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought the guy from the wrecking crew back at the house, instead of, making her tea, which is what I have with no chicken blood, in my tea, I was waiting for him to try and stop her from going down there or to act nervous. And I'm like, okay, something's going on. But no, that sequence was ridiculous and absurd, but it really built up to then what happened next. So it was perfect in
absolutely.
that way. Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion that what happens after all this is going to be the crux and the majority of the rest of our conversation, because there's a lot that we have to talk about. But before I do that, Jen, can you show everyone that mug again?
Oh yeah.
I want people to see
Put my cheesecake down.
the mug that you're representing.
So I'm a frequent Disneyland goer, and this is a mug that was not even prominently displayed, but I have a radar, and it's a GLK&H mug that's crashed because, you know, she picked it up with her. She smashed, yes. But I also love it because if you watch the Agent Carter series, when Angie and Peggy are at the Griffin and Angie's not introducing, but telling Peggy who all the gals are, one of the girls works at then GLK law firm, but they actually say the names out, and the names are 3 of the founders of Marvel, including Stan Lee, and the other 2 have escaped me because I had
Kirby, I think.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby. And then
and then G, I don't remember who G is, but
trying to think.
Yeah, I had to deal with a lot of spreadsheets today, so my brain's
It's all good.
Yeah. So this is my new favorite mug, along with my Avengers Initiative mug, because that's the name of our cosplay group. So
it does make it look like you work for them, Jen, which is kind of cool. I will say that. Your coworkers with Nikki and Mary.
They wouldn't let me in a law firm to
It's Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg. No, She-Hulk's law firm. Yeah, Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway.
Right. And
Interesting.
Lieber,
Okay.
Stanley. I can't remember
Yeah.
who the other 2 guys are, but Holloway we know who he is. So yeah.
Cool.
So and plus it has 2 handholds.
Yeah, love it. Smash. It looks like you're good now. I wanted to ask your thoughts on just basically the reveal of Todd and and also just the events and the chaos that ensues following Pug's infiltration.
Yeah, the whole high tension of high level espionage being done by not high level experienced espionagers. Like Nikki just seemed so flippant, you know, when she got the invitation to the whole meetup, and she's like, wait, that was so easy. Or am I a genius? Like, honey, this is serious. You're infiltrating a hate group. But God, the tiniest little detail that just had me cracking up was when, you know, Todd comes over and tells everyone who Pug is, you know, that he's worked with She-Hulk. He knows her. And you hear some of the guys say something like, oh yeah, and he's hot too. Yeah, I'd smash him. And just that whole ideology of the whole, like, I hate women because they won't sleep with me, but I'm the super straightest alpha guy ever. But I hate women, but oh, look at this other dude. He's so cool. He's so hot. And it's just like, oh, the mental gymnastics these men go through to justify their crap. It's the tiniest little nod. I mean, I don't disagree with anyone who'd say they'd smash Pug, but you know, male or female.
Credit where credit's due, though. I do love that throughout this entire season, Jessica Gao knew who her critics were going to be. You know, she knew what they're, you know, obviously it takes years to write these scripts, months to put it all together. You know, and it's not like they're writing the scripts themselves week after week, right? They were already done. The show's already filmed. So the fact that she basically called what everyone was going to say about this show before the show hit and literally just stayed with it this entire time. That satire is just beautifully done, I think. And I think none better than the example of the intelligentsia group that you're alluding to, Smash, which is perfectly brilliant. Yeah.
And drinking their tears, by the way.
How do they
Really
taste?
delicious. Delicious. Bring me more.
I love it. Yeah, you have to smash it and go another. But yeah, very cool. Yes, agreed, and brilliant sentiments. Carolyn, what about you? Reveal a Pug, Abomination / Emil, and the chaos, all of it.
I fell for the Abomination thing. I was like, oh no, because a lot of people were suspecting, because everything gets leaked. And that's the other thing. Jessica Gao knew that probably most of the thing was going to be leaked. So they had to get ahead of it by turning it into meta, because it's always what people suggest. You know, they're always like, there's always going to be a fight. There's always going to be this. There's always going to be that. honestly, one of the things that I don't think people talk about enough with the intelligentsia guys is that they're the YouTubers too. There's the guys who make like the, Captain Marvel fails immensely, Brie Larson doesn't want to return, thumbnails and things like that just generate followings full of so much hate. And poor Pug is in this situation that I think a lot of guys on Twitter and Facebook and who want to be helpful and who want to be allies. I think he does exactly. He weirdly models good ally behavior, at least to me, because he does what Nikki asks him to do, and he listens to what she says, and he.
I think your audio dropped out, Carolyn. I think, yeah. We are unable to hear you. No.
Still see her, doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you. If you want to shadow.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay. Well, it was a good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the algorithm. It's a problem. Coming in not clear. No, the only thing I'll add is what I said before, and I don't know if you guys caught it. Pug to me demonstrates good, at least to me, good ally behavior, which is, he lets Nikki take the lead. He lets Nikki explain what she wants him to do. He listens, and then he acts, and then he does his best and recognizes like trying to call people in. So at least to me, that was good, like supportive behavior.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Pug is awesome. We love Pug. He's funny. He's sweet. There's not a better ally that you can ask for. And just the fact that you see him really getting sick, just being in the presence of these complete, screw it, I'm gonna curse, these complete assholes. I mean, like, come on. It makes so much sense. That he is a really great person, and he would get sick because of that. But yeah. But as I was alluding to before, chaos ensues. And that's where I start going like, this is really bad writing because everything's just happening. Where the hell did Titania come from? Why is Titania even here? Why is she helping Jen? All of this stuff. And that's what I was supposed to say. That's what I was supposed to notice, which I love that Jessica Gao is just ahead of that and knows what she's doing. And thank God She-Hulk goes, no. This is unacceptable. The blood thing we've done every freaking movie, every freaking time. Bruce coming out of nowhere. So I love that she goes to the lot. No, not just goes to the lot. She busts out of the Disney Plus chiclet, is trying to find the appropriate program that she can infiltrate in order to get onto the lot and talk to Kevin Feige, and assembled. Shang-Chi's assembled is there. And she's like, okay, that'll do. Busts into that, and then is on the Disney lot walking around, and finally gets into the writer's room where we do see Jessica Gao, who gave herself a role, and the rest of the writers of this show. And she's like, what the hell is this, guys? Come on. Thoughts? Did you guys agree with her assessment? And not just in the context of this show and this episode, but as Marvel as a whole, I suppose. Smash, I'd love to start with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a difference between, following the structure that a story should follow and being formulaic. And the biggest criticism of Marvel, especially, the last few movies, is that, we get our finale with our big explosions and our, what do they call it? The disposable CG army of, whether it's demons, drones, ghosts, or whatever, that, you can just kill as many of them as you need. That at what point is it like, we're giving you everything you want, but you're still complaining. So you just kind of have to wipe the slate clean, as Jen came through and is like, we're gonna do this different. Like, we give them what they want, yet they still complain. We don't give them what they think they want, and they still complain. So let's just do it our way. And Jen just screamed that in our faces and in Kevin's face. And it was absolutely wonderful. I think a lot of people needed to hear it.
I think so at first I will say that the Kevin algorithm bit that got ruined for me because of the subtitles.
Exactly.
When they were
Yes.
talking about Kevin, if I didn't realize that if the subtitles weren't on and I just heard it, then obviously I'd think that it was obviously they're going to talk about Kevin Feige. But because I saw the acronym, I was like, oh, it's a robot. That's what they're saying, and they kind of Disney Plus fix that. You got to fix that because it just ruins the twist for everyone. But that being said, still didn't ruin the show. Still didn't ruin the fun of it all. Jen, thoughts on the busting out the chicklet, going to the writer's room, meeting Jessica Gao, everyone kind of talking about the glory of Kevin and what Kevin wants we need to deliver on, you know?
I thought that the episode crashed. I was like, oh, and thankfully, right when I went to like play with the keyboard on my laptop, she started talking. I'm like, what's she doing? Okay, this is just, I was like, this isn't even the fourth wall anymore. Like, what are you breaking here, lady? But what has she always said? Almost every episode, it's her show. She knows how her show should be. So she, of course, is going to go tell them, because it's funny. She comes across sometimes as not very confident, or at least very quietly confident and kind of timid. But then she takes a deep breath and it's my show and I'm going to get my show done the way I want. And the whole thing with the lawyer scrolling through the NDA, she's just like, this is ridiculous. That's the longest NDA I've ever seen. But I just, how she figured out real quick, I can't go to that one. Oh, that'll get me to the studio. What? But it did. So yeah, and to see her striding around the studio was cool, and then to go into the Marvel studio building, I was like, oh, we get to see it, because that's actually the building. I've seen the outside of it, not the inside, sadly, but I was like, oh, that looks like the building. So and the poor receptionist, because she could have very easily broken the thing right there and made herself green again. But I loved it, and I loved that she wasn't going to take any crap from a robot. I loved that the robot had his hat on. And I was also spoiled for that. Not spoiled for it, because obviously it didn't say Kevin is a robot, but we're all intelligent adults. And so when you see the Kevin, I'm like, why is it that way when they say it? But when she says it, it's just Kevin. Okay. And I liked the slight little bit of fear everybody seemed to have for Kevin, because he's really the nicest guy. So
I don't know about that. He's terrifying. I don't know. No, I'm joking.
I wouldn't want the robot, but yeah, it was fun, and I love
as long as you don't break the NDA.
Right. Yeah, and the fight scene in the hallway just made me laugh, because she's like, wop, and just
real security.
Yeah, are they hiring security guards? Because I'd do that job. I'll stand guard for Kevin.
I would too. I would totally get my butt beaten up by Tatiana Maslany, just to protect Kevin. That'd be fine. Yeah. Also, I will admit, I wanted to steal all the concept art on the wall of that hallway. I'm like, I must have all of this, and I must have it now. But it also kind of reminded me of the Black Widow fight from Iron Man 2. Did you guys do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Or did you pick up those vibes?
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of
well, just like the hallway fight in 8 reminded you of Daredevil, and then she gets her own hallway fight, but it's very, that's very I would like to see more women get hallway fights. I'd like to see more women have their own fights like that. I just think that'd be cool.
That would be really cool. Again, another shameless plug for Werewolf by Night. If you watch it and you are introduced to Elsa Bloodstone, you will see amazing freaking fights from Laura Donnelly, who plays the character. It's hands down amazing. But that being said, Kevin, I'm going to kick it to you now. What did you think of your own scenes and this whole meta thing going on with the chicklet and the breaking the Disney Plus literal fourth Disney Plus wall to get into Assembled and all of that? As the algorithm that came up with it, by the way.
It was a tough thing to film. The algorithm is always difficult, but Kevin is very pleased with how Kevin's work turned out, and Kevin is grateful that I love meta. I live for meta. And what I was reading an interview on marvel.com from Rachel Page, and they talked to Kevin. They talked to Kevin Feige, they talked to Jessica Gao about this. And Jessica was initially hesitant. She said, I don't know if this is what I want to do, but I don't know. And Feige said, go for it. Yeah, we want to do this. Just be crazy with it. And so they were like, well, originally, apparently, they wanted to put like a really dashing, like cast John Hamm and have John Hamm be Kevin Feige and like walk out like James Bond. And then they were like, no, he should be a robot. And so they did this, and they drew the little robot, and Jessica Gao tells this story about how Kevin like was all before this until every picture that they had of the robot had a hat on. And he was just like, and so but he kept complaining about the hat for some reason. And in this article, Jessica Gao was like, he really was upset about the hat. And we were just like, you're okay with being replaced by a massive superhuman AI computer, but you draw the line at a hat. Like, yeah, I do. But that's such a cool little. A lot of people give Hollywood grief, and a lot of people that work in Hollywood give Hollywood grief. It's really hard to make good entertainment. And I know that a lot of us sit here, and no matter what if you're in any sort of entertaining business, you think that it's hard and it's exhausting, and there are days when you just can't smile. But like this whole episode was the essence of, I think, why a lot of people watching, and a lot of people on the stream, and a lot of people do get into movies and entertainment, is because this is pure, silly, creative fun. Yeah. And we love being creative, and that's what this was.
I definitely agree with all of that, Carolyn. It was a lot of fun. I do want to address something, and Smash, you brought it up, which I really enjoyed you mentioning it. If I may, please forgive me for getting on a soapbox really quickly. A lot of what this episode preaches about, and Smash, you alluded to it, is fan expectation and entitlement a little bit. And I totally love that they just destroy that completely, because it's true. We're getting to a point where, I think fans expect everything out of Marvel, and when Marvel gives them everything, they still complain about it. It becomes a catch-22 situation. All of these movies feel the same. We need to let the directors, have their vision. And then when a movie like Eternals comes out and it's a Chloe Zhao feel and look and everything like that, they complain, why isn't this like the other Marvel movies? This needs to feel more like the other Marvel movies. When Doctor Strange comes out and you've got like the last act is all Raimi, zombie necromancy stuff, which is amazing. People are like, it's too dark, it's too scary, Marvel shouldn't feel like this. When Thor Love and Thunder comes out and it's inherently a Taika Waititi movie in every essence of its DNA, people complain that it's too silly, too cheesy, too Taika. So what then is a studio supposed to do? To Carolyn's point, making movies is hard. Making these decisions is hard. If you give the director creative liberty, people will complain, like they did with Chloe Zhao, Sam Raimi, Taika Waititi. If you adhere to the formula, people complain because it's the same thing that we've seen all the time. So it's kind of like, what do people want? There's no winning for them. And that's why I love that this episode knows that. Jessica Gao knows that. And to a degree, Kevin Feige, who allowed this entire meta thing that pokes fun at Marvel Studios to move forward, he knows it too. And I love that this is their way of kind of taking that stand and saying, we've given you the world, you still complain about it. We're just going to do what we want from now on. And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter, because we're ending on our own terms. And I think that is there's something really beautiful, a really beautiful message about art and expectation and all of that. So fans out there, just enjoy the show. Come on, just enjoy it, just like it. Don't expect for Daredevil to be in every single episode. Don't expect for Mr. Fantastic to show up in WandaVision and then hate WandaVision because Mephisto wasn't revealed when that was your theory. Just enjoy the vision and the storytelling and the characters. Anyways, I will descend from my soapbox now. I just wanted to point that out and say thank you, Smash, for bringing that up, because I think that this is exactly what the point of this episode was, and I love that. Yeah.
If people really
I think
want
more
to
people need to look at Marvel movies as in the same category.
No, go. I'm sorry. I was just.
It's okay. I think Marvel movies are kind of in that same category as, you know, pizza and ice cream. That even when it's bad, it's still pretty good, you know?
Hot take. I agree with that 100%. They've never disappointed me. I mean, like, there have been movies that are way better than other movies. Obviously, you know, not everything's going to be Endgame. Not everything's going to be Avengers 1, you know, but that being said, nothing is Morbius either. Nothing is Batman and Robin. Nothing is you know, the 1997 Spawn movie or anything that bad. Atrocities have been committed in the comic book genre, some as recently as Dark Phoenix in 2019. Really terrible movies, and Marvel has never sunk to those lows, guys. I mean, like, it's been enjoyable, and I love that about them. If you know, just accept it and enjoy the pizza and the ice cream, you know. But yeah.
And we got Jen asking the important question: when are we getting the X-Men?
Yeah, exactly. She wants the X-Men too. She asked some really important questions. Do you guys remember any others? Yeah. The daddy issues thing had me on the floor. I love that. You know, why does every hero? I love that. The super soldier sim too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good. They know their audience. They know we get the joke. At least I'd hope we get the joke. Most of you out there, but yeah.
We know the ones that won't get it, and it's fine because they haven't gotten it since the show was announced. So
exactly. Carolyn, you were going to say something, I think, when Smash was slightly frozen. Do you remember what that was, or did you want to go back to it?
Not to toot a horn or anything like that, but for people who aren't happy with the experience that's curated, the answer is always, you know, curate your own experience. There's so much you could play. One of the games you could play. I mean, if people really want that much control, play one of the games, go to the parks, Marvel is more than just movies and being entertained. The great thing about this universe is they've given people so many options to invest in all of it. You know, there's comics, there's movies, there's cosplay, there's all these different ways that you can interact with it and take control. And none of these people, what's very frustrating is that none of these people seem to realize that these options are out there. They just want to sit and they want to be entertained. And that's really depressing, because I'm very concerned as things get more and more delayed that they're not delaying them for story reasons. They're delaying them so that they can put in cameos. They're delaying them because the internet says, oh, I want 3 Spider-Men. And now that I have all 3 Spider-Men, I want Deadpool and Wolverine in the Spider-Man movie. And now that I have Deadpool and Wolverine in the Spider-Man movie, well, obviously we need, I don't know who else goes with Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I guess other people. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we need. So I just worry that there is a fine line to walk, and this episode really assured me of Marvel's future, because they know that they walk a very fine line between being, to borrow Smash's analogy, pizza and ice cream. You can either be a fine dining pizza and ice cream restaurant where you have delicious 4-course desserts with like fancy ice cream and, you know, like really fancy, like ricotta, you know, like Wagyu beef pizza or whatever. Or you can be, you know, Chuck E. Cheese. And people want Chuck E. Cheese, apparently. And Marvel says, no, we're going to do fine dining pizza and ice cream. And if you don't like it, that's fine. There's plenty of other Chuck E. Cheeses out there.
Yeah. I mean, literally, you had a movie like Eternals with a very prestige director like Chloe Zhao doing a little bit more of a prestige take on a superhero movie. Yeah, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea. I actually really liked Eternals, you know, and beautiful. It's a gorgeous movie. And I think a lot of people were expecting smash, which they didn't, you know, they weren't trying to not smash, but smashes in like explosions, which it wasn't. Or when you take a look at Black Panther, by the way, the first superhero movie in history to be nominated for Best Picture. You know, I mean, it goes, they've gone prestige before. But then if you didn't like that, right after Eternals, you had No Way Home, which was, you know, just a completely fun and completely crazy, wonderful take on just Spider-Man, the traditional OG Spider-Man superhero movies that we love. So they're serving us all these different flavors, and it's actually kind of nice just to, you know, can move forward with all of that. So yeah, you could pick your you could pick your options from the buffet that Marvel is serving you. So
Well,
yeah,
and that's the thing too. Not every piece of media is made for every person. Some
yeah,
things aren't made for you, not
yeah,
you, but you know, the you in the universe. So I think one of the analogies besides pizza and ice cream, to even take it a little further, John Mulaney has a thing that he talk about one thing that's good and one thing that's not good. His two favorite foods are lobster and Skittles. Skittles are still great, but I love lobster and I'll eat both of them. I happen to really like Chloe Zhao movies, so I loved Eternals. I also wish Eternals had been a long Disney Plus series to do the world building it
yeah,
deserves.
yeah.
So
Yep.
there's that. So, and I don't expect them to do that for me because I'm one fan, but that's the thing is some people are like, well, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what
And
it should be. But sometimes it's not going to be. Now, the end of Endgame, when Steve goes back, they pulled that scene out of my brain and my heart. Not gonna lie. So I was like, you know what? Anything else Marvel does, I don't care because they gave me that. And that made me happy. So I think some people need to find their Marvel moment that made them the happiest. And maybe that's going to be your pinnacle of Marvel, but just enjoy the rest of it too.
110%. And I'm with you right there, which just fun, you know, personal fact, by the way. For me, they gave me the two moments in that movie. It was Stephen Mjolnir, which was literally my favorite scene of all time, I think.
Yes.
But then they also brought to life something that I just never thought they ever would. And it's when the portal scene happens and they're just panning across the field and every character from the Marvel universe is there against every force of Thanos. That was like a 2-page splash page from a comic come to life. And I was just like, oh my God, it's there. It's happening. So yeah, I mean, everything that they do from there, I'm just happy with,
Right.
you know?
I still cry when I hear the Portals music because I can
Oh,
see it in my head. That's how good of a job they did. I
it,
can
it,
see
it hit.
Steve catching the hammer. I can hear on your left and Steve looking around and I choke up and yeah, they know what they're doing. They may
You know,
not always do what you want.
yeah, exactly. And that's fine. Let them do what they want. By the way, that portal scene still chokes me up even worse today because the first person out of the portal is Chad, you know,
Yeah.
and we all miss and love Chad.
Yeah,
But
that's going to be a rough movie, let me tell you. For
going to
me,
be a tough movie.
Yeah.
Carolyn, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Well, no, I want to interject just as a final potential option for people that might feel if you can't do it for you or find something that makes you happy specifically, it's okay to set yourself aside and think of the kids because really working in Avengers Campus, I see so many kids who are just so excited, really little babies who are just so excited to do this and so excited to dress in Spider-Man outfits and so excited to see the heroes and so like ready for the Wakandan warriors and for Doctor Strange. And I remember when the first Black Panther came out and there was this family, this Black family, and they were all just so excited to be at the park and meet Black Panther. And there was the It Is Challenge Day challenge. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it was M'Baku and he goes, "It is Challenge Day." The guy did the speech. And the uncle was like, "I'm going to do that to Black Panther and it's going to be great. And we're going to film it." And I was like, awesome. And I'm cheering him on. And I'm in Cars Land. Marvel Land isn't even a dream yet. Well, I'm sure it was, but and I'm in Cars Land. And as I'm leaving, the guy comes over and he goes, look, I did it. And it's like, and I wish that I could bottle that energy and like give it to people as gifts. Because I think if you really see the real world impact, more than just a comic book convention, you get tastes of that. If you see people who aren't like the dyed in the wool fans, the people who are just getting into it, like the other day there was this little kid and she didn't know who She-Hulk was and she didn't know who Elsa Bloodstone was, and she was like, "Is she signing autographs?" I want to go meet her because she'll sign an autograph for me. And like, so again, folks, for people who might be listening who are curious, or for others, if you can't do it, my heart goes out to you. There is a galaxy's worth of media. Set your anger aside. Think of the kids.
Straight from Kevin Feige
Yeah,
himself, folks.
right
You
from
know.
the top.
Yes, right from the top. Well said, Carolyn. Smash, any final thoughts on your end, Marvel or otherwise, just for this episode?
I mean, I don't want to say that I have low expectations across the board for just the media I consume, but I try to take stuff for what it is. You know, if someone wants to make a piece of entertainment that takes its piece, and then if something like this comes out and they want to call out all their own fans, and I'm just like, yes, do that as well. And I hope that, you know, this means a little bit of a different direction for Marvel, hopefully, maybe less of the formulaic route, and maybe more stories about like, hey, look, someone can have superpowers and experience character development in the span of 2 hours, and not just, you know, like, oh, I have powers now, bang, 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 I'm a hero, yay. So yeah, I hope this means good things for Marvel and the projects that they are moving forward with. And I hope that a lot of fans just take the hint and can just be entertained and not, you know, be entitled to their entertainment, you know?
Yeah, agreed. I don't think we could top that, folks, and we are unfortunately at time. But before we go, I wanted to tell you, every single one of you guys watching this right now, thank you for staying with us for 9 straight episodes. What a fun season. Thank you so much to these panelists right here, these amazing, brilliant people with their amazing thoughts and amazing, you know, impact that they've had on me, at least, perceiving the show, and hopefully had on you as well, with their insightful notes and comments and everything like that. So thank you guys for all of that. And we will definitely be doing this again, because there's no shortage of Marvel Studios stuff. The algorithm has spoken. Obviously, more is coming. And when it does, season 2. When it all does, just come back here to the Nom Talk network and tune into Basic Binges with us, and we'll cover it again. We'll do this all again, and have fun doing so. Before we go, I want to say, where can everyone find you? Carolyn, we'll start with you.
You guys can find me at Carolyn in Fandom. It's my first name, Carolyn, in capital FANDOM. And I would be remiss in saying and plugging Black Panther opens November 11th, 2022. Everybody go see it. Werewolf by Night currently streaming, and She-Hulk finale streaming now.
Awesome. Well said, Carolyn. Kevin will give you your check in a couple of days. Jen, what about you? Where can everyone find you?
I am on Instagram at do_as_Peggy says. And also you can find our cosplay group, the Avengers Initiative, on Instagram at Avengers Cosplay, or at Avengers Initiative and West Coast Avengers on Facebook. And yes, of course, let's not forget Black Panther's coming out, but also Whole Cat of Sun, guys.
Oh my God, we didn't even cover that.
We didn't do the whole picnic
I'm
thing.
so stupid. Yeah. Oh my God, we didn't even cover Scar. What the hell is wrong with me? I am so sorry. Yeah. Whole Cat of Sun. That's all we know.
Sorry, we forgot that 3-second instance where he was like, "Oh, by the way, this is my boy." Next scene, by the
we
way.
also forgot something else that was kind of big. We got to see
Matt
again, and Matt and She-Hulk are a thing now. Matt and Jen are a thing officially. Jesus, I'm a terrible host. Oh my God. Oh.
I mean, there was so much great stuff to talk about. You did a great job, but I didn't really think that until just now. I was like, wait, Hulk had a boy. Hold on.
Yeah. So Hulk had a boy, and Matt and She-Hulk are a thing. End of episode. Boom.
Yes, Matt's planning the wedding. We're good to go.
That's canon, though. That's canon.
It's now canon.
It is.
And for those of you who don't know, Scar is from Sakaar. He is in the comics. He's even in your kids' favorite cartoons, guys. I think if you guys watched Hulk and the Agents of Smash, Scar is a prominent main character on that. So definitely take a look out for that on Disney Plus, because if you want a little bit more details about the character, there's a cartoon with it, you know. So yeah. But yes, thank you for that, Jen. And thank you again for joining. And last but certainly not least, the wonderful Smash Ketchum. Smash, where can everyone find you?
This. Spelling is hard. This is my Instagram handle.
Donny Baloney. Awesome. Yes.
Or I'm sure if you Google Smash Ketchum, I come up because it was my roller derby name. So I've had the name for a while.
Yes.
Wonderful. And lastly, I'm Mike Manalo. I've been your host. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can find me at TuddyBullBoy182 on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, on thenerdsofcolor.org, whattowatch.com, and that's at LA. Until the next Marvel project, guys, thanks so much. Be kind to yourselves and have a great night.